Naofumi Iwatani, a regular dude, is chilling in his own world when bam, he's yanked into a totally different universe. And surprise, he's one of 4 heroes who are supposed to save this new world. Pretty cool, right? Well, except for one little thing. While his 3 fellow heroes get badass weapons that can slash, stab, and explode stuff, Naofumi gets stuck with a shield. Yep, just a big old piece of defensive gear. Naofumi thinks he'll make some friends, level up, and save the day. Well, fast forward to day 2 and he gets completely betrayed. His teammate, a supposedly beautiful woman, frames him for something he didn't do, robs him blind, and leaves him in the dirt. Suddenly, the guy who just wanted to get along with everyone is now branded a criminal. Everyone thinks he's guilty. So, what does Naofumi do? He goes full revenge mode, and with his attack skills weaker than a soggy noodle, he's got to hustle, grind, and find a way to level up, while everyone else is out there swinging their flashy swords and spears. Naofumi's got grit, and a shield's all he really needs to start turning things around. Naofumi is your classic college otaku, living off his parents' money, alongside his equally unmotivated younger brother. Life's all manga and chill, until he stumbles across a random book called The 4 Heroes Weapons Manual at the library. One casual skim later, boom, he's isekai'd into a brand new world, shield stuck to his arm, and 3 other dudes by his side. These 3, Motoyasu the spear guy, Ren, sword bro, and Itsuki, Bow Kid, are already wheeling and dealing with their summoners like pros, acting like they've done this before. Meanwhile, Naofumi's standing there asking what's happening. Turns out, they've been summoned as legendary heroes to save this world from waves of calamity. Big ol' monster dumps from interdimensional portals. If they save the day, they'll either be sent back home with VIP treatment or live out their lives as heroes in this world. Sweet deal, right? Except for Naofumi, who quickly realizes he's been handed the short end of the weapon stick. Everyone immediately trashes the shield, calling it the loser's class. The next day, the king promises to hook them up with party members to level up and fight monsters. But guess what? No one wants to join Team Naofumi. Rumors are already spreading that he's clueless, weak, and useless. Just when things seem hopeless, this charming girl named Mine steps up and volunteers to join him. Naofumi thinks, finally, someone decent. Spoiler, big mistake. With their allowance from the king, Mine convinces Naofumi to buy her fancy armor and weapons while he settles for a cheap chainmail coat. She's all smiles, promises to get stronger, and even shares a nice steak dinner with him. But the next morning, Naofumi wakes up to find everything, money, armor, everything gone. Worse, the royal guards drag him to the castle, where Mine accuses him of assault. The biggest betrayal ever. The king, other heroes, and even the public turn against Naofumi without a second thought. It's clear Mine framed him, but no one cares. He storms out, humiliated, broke, and furious, vowing to survive on his own. Out in the fields, he starts leveling up the hard way, punching low-level balloon monsters into submission, while rage grinding his way through the night. It's not glamorous, but he's determined. After scaring a merchant with his stash of balloon monsters and hustling some silver coins, Naofumi starts to carve out a scrappy existence. 2 weeks later, he's still stuck in a grind loop. Weak monster, slow leveling, no attack power. Frustrated, he's ready to snap when a sketchy little slave trader offers him a solution. A companion who can't betray him thanks to a magical slave curse. Naofumi's life has officially reached rock bottom. Belucas comes in, a shady-as-heck slave trader who seems way too excited to help. He drags Naofumi into his tent, which is basically a discount pet store for demi-humans people with animal features. While slavery's not illegal in this world, owning human slaves is a big no-no because of the human supremacist government. But demi-humans? Fair game. The first premium option Belucas shows off is this werewolf beastman. Naofumi's impressed, but quickly realizes it's way out of his budget. He's broke, remember. Belucas, ever the salesman, congratulates Naofumi on his good taste and shows him the bargain bin option. Among them is a sickly, frail tanuki girl named Raftalia, who's clearly seen better days. Naturally, Naofumi's like, yeah, this one will do. He takes her to his go-to blacksmith, Earhard, who takes one look and goes, dude, you're so dead. Still, Earhard hooks Raftalia up with a chainmail dress and a knife. Then, it's off to monster hunting boot camp. Naofumi's training method, ordering Raftalia to stab one of those balloon monsters he's been punching all week. Not exactly a confidence boost for her, but hey, it works. Naofumi also discovers that party members share EXP gains, meaning her kills make him stronger too. He quickly realizes Mine never bothered to party up with him. After their first monster killing session, Naofumi treats Raftalia to a decent meal, which feels like a big win for both of them. Later, while he's grinding medicinal leaves, he whips up some medicine for her cough. This simple act of kindness hits Raftalia hard. Turns out, her late dad used to tell her stories about the SHIELD hero's legendary compassion. Suddenly, she's starting to think this guy might not be so bad after all. With a new plan to hustle medicinal herbs for profit, Naofumi starts leveling up their teamwork and their relationship. He buys her a ball to play with, snacks to enjoy, even gives her a haircut. When nightmares about her tragic past keep her up, he comforts her. Slowly but surely, Raphtalia starts to heal, emotionally and physically. Soon, Earhart notices her progress and upgrades her gear to a short sword. Fancy! The duo heads to Ryut Village to trade their spoils, where they learn about a mine filled with valuable ore and, naturally, monsters from the first wave. Since no one else wants to deal with it, Naofumi decides to give it a shot. He unlocks a couple of new shield forms, Rope Shield and Airstrike Shield. Bonus, he also gets a Pickaxe Shield for mining. Inside the mine, they're ambushed by a two-headed black dog, aka a nightmare fuel beast straight out of Raphtalia's traumatic memories. This thing killed her parents during the first wave, and now it's staring her down again. Naofumi, being the stubborn protector he is, holds it off and tells Raphtalia to run. But instead of fleeing, her past and present collide. She realizes she can't lose Naofumi like she lost her family. Fueled by sheer willpower and a whole lot of trauma, Raphtalia charges the beast and takes it down with a double stab special. After the fight, she rushes to Naofumi's side, calling him by his name for the first time. It's a small moment, but it seals the start of their unshakable bond. Back in town, Raphtalia proudly collects a flag from her kid's meal at the restaurant. Naofumi, ever the sentimental type, adds a red dot to it, making a tiny Japanese flag. For him, it's a reminder of what he's fighting for, getting out of this crazy, biased world and going home. It's been 2 weeks of monster smashing and shield upgrading for Naofumi and Raphtalia, and things are getting interesting. For one, Naofumi's been unlocking an absurd number of shields by feeding his weapon everything he can find. Meanwhile, Raphtalia has mysteriously grown into a full-blown young woman. When they visit Earhart, the blacksmith, to upgrade Naofumi's armor, Earhart notices the new and improved Raphtalia and tries to clue him in. Naofumi, in true socially awkward protagonist fashion, assumes everyone is secretly a lolicon. Raphtalia, after rejecting some off-the-rack armor, they order a custom set and head out for dinner. Naofumi, still treating Raphtalia like a kid, earns himself another round of grumpy side-eyes from his battle buddy. Fast forward, the barbarian armor is done, decked out in his new gear. Naofumi brings up the whole "I don't know when the next wave is coming" problem, prompting Earhart to casually drop a bombshell. Turns out there's this super handy red hourglass of the Dragon's era that counts down to the wave and teleports the heroes to the action. Naofumi heads to the hourglass tower to register and runs into the other 3 heroes. Motoyasu, Ren, and Itsuki are there with their parties. And of course, Motoyasu wastes no time flirting with Raphtalia. He even throws in some thinly veiled shade at Naofumi. Real subtle. Dude, furious. Naofumi storms out with Raphtalia, swearing to keep his distance from the drama squad. Just before the wave, Raphtalia has this heartfelt moment where she thanks Naofumi for saving her and pledges her undying loyalty. "I am your sword. Wherever you go, I'll follow you." She's sweet, and you can tell it hits Naofumi right in the feels, though he plays it cool. When the hourglass runs out, the heroes and their parties are teleported to the wave battlefield near Ryut Village. But while the other heroes immediately charge off to fight the big boss, Naofumi notices the village is crawling with monsters and the people haven't evacuated. Instead of joining the boss fight, he and Raphtalia focus on saving the villagers. Naofumi lures a horde of monsters away from the village and drops a flaming guard tower on them. Meanwhile, Raphtalia helps the villagers escape. Just as things are looking bleak, backup arrives. Unfortunately, it's the Melromark Knights, who start chucking firebombs like it's a fireworks show. No concern for the shield hero or the villagers. Raphtalia, furious at their recklessness and disrespect, tries to take out their cowardly captain. But his vice captain intervenes. Naofumi, ever the voice of reason, convinces the vice captain, some younger knights, to fight alongside him, while the captain and his cronies bail to join the other heroes. Together, Naofumi, Raphtalia, and the helpful knights fend off the remaining monsters. Eventually, the other heroes defeat the wave's boss, cutting off the monster flood and ending the wave. While the other heroes are busy prepping for their rewards ceremonies, Naofumi gets the real MVP treatment from the villagers. They're genuinely grateful for his help, though there were still some losses. Raphtalia, thinking about her own tragic past, asks if they managed to keep any kids from being orphaned. Naofumi reassures her with a head pat, and she breaks down, crying for the family she lost during the first wave. It's a bittersweet moment, but it's clear these two are becoming a formidable and heartfelt team. Naofumi, our hero, or so they thought, is basically drowning in awkward silence at this fancy victory party. Everyone else is basking in the glory, but he's stuck brooding and scrolling through his phone well, his shield's help menu. Suddenly, he spots the knight captain, who conveniently conveniently arrive just in time to save the day, bragging to a bunch of giggling nobles. Meanwhile, Motoyasu, the spear hero, is surrounded by adoring fans. But his moment of glory is interrupted by the arrival of the jealous Princess Mine. Things get real when Motoyasu spots Raphtalia, Naofumi's enslaved companion. Mine, ever the drama queen, whispers something in Motoyasu's ear, and suddenly the gloves are off. Motoyasu challenges Naofumi to a duel, claiming Raphtalia is a slave and demanding her freedom. Naofumi, already dealing with enough drama, points out that slavery is legal in this world. But Motoyasu, Mr. Holier-than-thou himself, throws a fit. The other heroes are equally shocked, and the crowd starts whispering that Naofumi tries to back out. But King Altcarry, the absolute worst, steps in. He declares Naofumi a monster and orders him to fight. Raphtalia, trying to explain she's not a prisoner, is promptly dragged away by guards. Naofumi, understandably furious, agrees to the duel, but only if they return Raphtalia. The duel begins. Motoyasu, cocky as ever, taunts Naofumi about his weak shield, but Naofumi, underestimated by everyone, proves to be a formidable opponent. He blocks every attack, and Motoyasu starts to panic. Then, Naofumi unleashes his secret weapon, his collection of adorable monster buddies. Motoyasu, flustered, cries foul. This isn't fair. He whines. But Naofumi, fueled by rage, keeps pushing. Just when victory seems within reach, Mine, ever the schemer, blasts Naofumi with a gust of wind. Motoyasu, seizing the opportunity, unleashes a powerful attack, leaving Naofumi defeated. The crowd erupts. King Altcarry declares Motoyasu the victor, and Mine, with a triumphant smirk, reveals her true identity, Princess Malti Melremark. The pieces of the puzzle finally click into place for Naofumi. He realizes he's been framed from the very beginning. Malti, the sweet girl who joined his party, was a spy, manipulating him every step of the way. And the king, he knew about it all along, letting Naofumi suffer for his own amusement. Naofumi, shattered, feels like the world is crumbling around him. He's been betrayed, mistreated, and everyone, including the other heroes, seems to believe the lies. Despair washes over him. Then, something unexpected happens. Raphtalia, freed from her bonds, steps forward. She doesn't thank Motoyasu. She doesn't bow to the king. Instead, she slaps Motoyasu across the face. She proceeds to dismantle Motoyasu's arguments, exposing his hypocrisy and ignorance. She reveals the truth about her relationship with Naofumi, highlighting his kindness and how he saved her life when no one else would. The crowd is stunned. Motoyasu, speechless, is left reeling. Just when things couldn't get any more dramatic, Ren and Itsuki intervene. They expose Mine's cheating, revealing how she used wind magic to sabotage Naofumi. The king, caught red-handed, can only stare in disbelief. Naofumi, still reeling from the betrayal, lashes out at Raphtalia, convinced she's just another person trying to hurt him. But Raphtalia, with unwavering loyalty, tells him she believes in him. She tells him she'll stand by him, no matter what. And then, something incredible happens. Naofumi, overwhelmed with emotion, finally breaks down. He realizes that Raphtalia is the only one who truly believes in him. As they embrace, a weight is lifted off his shoulders. He's not alone anymore. The next morning, Naofumi wakes up to discover that Raphtalia has grown into a beautiful young woman. He learns that demi-humans age differently, and he finally tastes food again. Meanwhile, over in Felbury, a classy lady is getting dressed by her entourage while being briefed by a spy. Apparently, the whole mess with Melremark's king is thanks to Malti's meddling. Shocker, right? The woman doesn't seem too fussed, though. She's just happy Naofumi managed to recruit a slave buddy to help him. With the shield hero temporarily sorted, her focus shifts to damage control with the neighboring nations, because Melremark hogging all four heroes has caused, well, issues. She orders her spy to keep tabs on the capital before strutting off to tackle international politics like it's her day job. Back at Melremark Castle, the heroes line up for their wave rewards in front of a crowd of nobles and adventurers. Motoyasu gets 4,000 silvers, Ren and Itsuki get 3,800 each, and Naofumi a whopping 500 silvers. Oh, but wait, King Grumpy cancels that too, claiming it's to cover the cost of freeing Naofumi's slave. Ren and Itsuki calling BS. They argue the king's being a total cheat, especially since the duel that Naofumi lost was rigged from the get-go. Plus, Raphtalia didn't even want her crest removed. That was all the king and Malti. Naturally, Malti jumps in, insisting the shield hero broke the duel's rules by using balloons. But Ren and Itsuki clap back, pointing out that she fired a spell into the arena to sabotage him, with no way to counter the facts. The king reluctantly gives Naofumi his original 500 silvers. As the shield hero collects his pity pay, the king tells him to scram. Before Naofumi can roast him, Raphtalia steps in with a cutting remark about how leaving suits them just fine. The duo exits, leaving the royals fuming. Next stop, Belucas. Raphtalia gets her slave crest reapplied because it symbolizes trust, and she's low-key hoping Naofumi notices her womanly charms, which, spoiler, he does not. The ink used for the crest even unlocks a new shield series. boosting Raftalia's stats. After politely declining an offer to buy back Raftalia, Naofumi spots a monster egg raffle. For 100 silvers, he could snag a Philolial or maybe even a rare dragon egg worth a small fortune. The duo visits the local magic and medicinal shops, scoring free books and tools from grateful owners whose families Naofumi saved. Turns out Naofumi has healing magic potential, while Raftalia can wield dark and light magic. They plan to learn together, since Naofumi still can't read the local language. It's a productive pit stop before they settle in for the night. The next day, their egg hatches into a tiny, fluffy Philolial chick. It's adorable and shockingly fast at leveling up. 2 days of monster hunting later, the chick's full grown and pulling its weight. Naofumi names it Philo, keeping things simple. But their bonding session is cut short when Motoyasu rolls into town with royal knights and a decree naming him the village's new lord. His first move, slapping a ridiculous toll on the villagers. Naofumi calls him out, sparking a mini rebellion, as Malti orders the knights to silence the villagers. Some mysterious shadows show up and shut her down. They propose a compromise. Naofumi and Motoyasu will race for control of the village. Naofumi's ready to sit this one out, but Philo's already raring to go. The race begins, and Philo's insane speed gives Naofumi an early lead. Malti's party cheats with traps and debuffs, but thanks to Naofumi's shields, they manage to avoid most of it. Philo powers through and wins, much to Motoyasu's frustration. Post-race, Philo suddenly transforms from a giant bird into a giant owl-like creature. Malti tries to claim it's proof of cheating, but the shadows expose her party's antics instead. Motoyasu and crew are forced to retreat. As a reward, the village offers Naofumi money, but he refuses, not wanting more rumors about stealing funds. Philo eyes a beat-up wagon, which Naofumi accepts, along with a merchant's pass to dodge tolls. Excited to start his merchant hero career, Naofumi heads out with Raftalia and Philo. The next morning, Naofumi wakes up to find his giant bird has turned into a little blonde girl with angel wings. She calls him master and immediately asks for food. Naofumi and Raftalia, totally floored. Erhard, our friendly neighborhood blacksmith, is about to enjoy a well-earned meal when Naofumi, Raftalia, and a suspiciously cloaked blonde girl stroll into his shop. Before anyone can say suspicious, the girl declares she's starving. Being a nice guy, Erhard offers her a bite of his sandwich. And by bite, I mean she turns into Philo, the giant bird, and inhales the whole thing in one gulp. Naofumi explains that they visited the ever-slimy Belukas, who casually revealed that some Philolials can transform into royalty, complete with shape-shifting powers. Oh, and Belukas totally cleaned out Naofumi's wallet, installing a high-end slave crest on Philo. Erhard shrugs and admits that making shape-shifting clothes isn't really his jam, but hey, he does have a hand-me-down dress that might work. He sends them to a tailor, who then redirects them to the magic shop owner, because of course they need magic thread for this whole fashion drama. The magic shop owner, being helpful but broke, needs a new crystal for her spinning wheel before she can help. She does, however, discover Philo's affinity for wind magic, which is pretty cool. With the clothes problem on hold, Team Naofumi hits the road to make some cash. Along the way, they run into a guy frantically running down the road, trying to save his sick mom. After extracting a promise of payment, they zoom off on Philo to deliver medicine at warp speed. The mom gets better, they get paid in food, and it's back to business. Their traveling merchant gig takes off. Philo pulls their carriage from village to village as Naofumi sells medicine and gives rides, becoming a minor celebrity. According to Hickwall, an accessory merchant, Naofumi is now known as a saintly healer, while Philo has been dubbed the god of domestic birds. Of course, no road trip is complete without bandits. A group of thugs ambushes them, but they seriously underestimated Naofumi's crew. After some invisible swordplay from Raftalia and a tornado stomp from Philo, the bandits are down for the count. Naofumi, channeling his inner mob boss, threatens to feed them to Philo unless they lead him to their base. Spoiler, they comply. The bandits hand over everything, including stolen loot, and Naofumi collects a little extra payment from Hickwall for the trouble. Impressed with Naofumi's entrepreneurial spirit, Hickwall offers to teach him crafting skills. Naofumi learns how to refine metals, enchant gems, and dabble in magic, earning himself a letter of recommendation to mine for gemstones. Armed with the letter, the group heads to a creepy cave near an abandoned temple in search of a magic gem. Inside, things get weird. The cave monsters mimic their voices, trying to stir up drama. Raftalia hears complaints about being Naofumi's slave, while Philo's voice threatens to eat him. Turns out, it's all mind games, and the magic shop owner dispels the illusions. Philo wraps things up with a magical beatdown. Deeper in the cave, they encounter a creepy lion-sized chimera thing. It relies on sound to attack, so now Fumi whips out his shiny new voice Jengar shield made from the earlier cave monsters and has Philo yell into it like a megaphone. The resulting sonic boom bursts the Nu's eardrums, leaving it defenseless. Raftalia, Philo, and the magic shop owner take it down in a glorious team effort. With the crystals secured, they return to the magic shop owner, who spins the magic thread using Philo's mana. Finally, Philo gets her shape-shifting clothes. Naofumi tallies the expenses. 340 silvers for the clothes and monster seal, plus 100 silvers for the original egg. He tells Philo she owes him big time and had better pull her weight. That's the end of the recap. Let us know if you want part 2 by leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to avoid being virgin forever. See you guys in the next video.